Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. And today is going to be focused on Ripple and XRP, and it's going to be a crazy episode. So I recommend you guys to watch this video all the way through so you don't miss out on any really important and very cool info. Also, guys, make sure you press the like button and subscribe, first of all, to support the channel, and second of all, so you don't miss out on all these great, interesting, and cool things. Now, my big question of today is, what country are you guys watching from? Or what state or what city? The last couple of times, Texas has always been winning with the most amount of people, and I want to see if it's going to be a different country today. So put your country in the comment section down below, or state for that matter, or city, and let's see. Now, I must say, this video, I already did, alright? I already spent an hour creating this video, but the recording messed up. And I've been trying my hardest to recover it, but I know it's not really possible, right? If any of you guys know how to recover an MOV file, you let me know, but I'm just gonna leave it for what it is. 1 hour of footage of the greatest freaking research I've ever done, down the drain, and I'm gonna try again to get you at least half the quality that I had the first time. But alright, my research was about the Fedcoin, about XRP, about Ripple, and all of it, all the connected, all the things, everything, and I think it's gonna be a really interesting episode. So sit tight, grab some popcorn, and let's go. First of all, the Fedcoin. This is a report by R3, which is very detailed about, I think, 2 and a little bit years ago since it was published. It's still something we like to talk and think about. The title here, Fedcoin, a central bank issued cryptocurrency. And of course, the last couple of videos and a lot of these YouTubers, you'll often hear talking about a CBDC, and that is exactly what this would be, a central bank digital cryptocurrency or currency. And now, the Fedcoin is something that I think all of you and even I are wondering about whether or not it will come, and if so, how it will do so. And here is a report. You can see actually the appendix, or what do you call it in English? The summary. So basically, what is it all about, this Fedcoin? The search for a stable cryptocurrency, because I mean, everybody's looking for what the best option would be, right? And the question would be, would it have to be stable? And what would it then need to be pegged to, right? And then also, would it be beneficial to the world? To what degree should the public have access to this central bank non-tangible money? So, should it become the new digital cash? Or should it just be used in the back? Right? Or what should they do with that? That's another discussion. Also, further design questions about the potential Fedcoin, and that design actually comes in to be very important. So one of the ideas that people have proposed is to make this Fedcoin on top of the ledger, so on top of XRPL as a XRPL issued coin. Now, there are some good sides and some bad sides to it, but I believe that nobody has really ever considered this. However, one thing they do think about, which is actually something that they brought up in this report, is to actually issue Fedcoin the same way that XRP was once issued. So with the Control F and then Ripple, going to the second one, you'll find here, an alternative way to create Fedcoin would be to pre-allocate the entire supply of tokens, say 100 trillion Fedcoin, or dollars Fedcoin. This block would immediately be awarded to the central bank to be held in reserve until they are required. Ripple set the precedent for a 100% pre-allocation, and at its inception, the entire 100 billion supply of XRP, Ripple's native token, was created outright, much of it retained by Ripple Labs, while the rest was auctioned off or given away. As for a reduction in supply, the central bank can store surplus crypto in its vaults, and much as it does with deposited banknotes that are still fit for a second go around. Pre-allocation simplifies security requirements as no one has the ability to issue Fedcoins. However, it is exceedingly difficult to change supply later if demand is underestimated. A new coin, say Fedcoin 2.0, would have to be issued in order to complement its exhausted supply of Fedcoin 1. Now, one of the things that came to mind here is that no, they have not really been thinking about going and doing this on the ledger, but digital money has become increasingly popular, right? A lot more people are talking about this digital money and this digital option right now than they were doing a couple of years ago. Really, I mean, that's quite obvious. But also, the kind of fear for a big inflation or a big spike in more money going around has really been increasing. And I think a Fedcoin, to some people, could be an option of really getting away from this whole trauma of having unlimited cash, because here they would just have 100 trillion, which might change the game up a little bit, right? That's one thing, because it's going to be stable, and thus there can't really be more. However, one thing people are also talking about a lot is really not requiring all this digital money anymore, but going back to the golden standard, or really using, is it tangible or intangible? Just things you can touch, instead of doing everything that's just, a concept, and then, just how economy is. It's just trust and thoughts. There's nothing really you can touch, and especially this Fed money, you won't be able to touch it. Now, pandemic leads to national coin shortage, Federal Reserve Task Force created to help. An apparent shortage of circulating coins born out of the CV pandemic has spurred the creation of a US task force, a US coin task force to be specific, to help solve the problem. And now basically what we're seeing is that people are hoarding their coins. And one of the things I can understand there is that you would most likely want to have coins instead of just digital dollars in your bank account, because if some massive inflation were to come, or whatever would happen to money, you still have at least some value in these coins, right? It doesn't really matter exactly what they're made of. Even if it were to be copper or just some stone freaking metal, doesn't really matter what it is. At least it has some value because it's real and you can touch it. With this digital money, it's really not the case. And it's very often believed that people want to get back to a golden standard. First of all, where people trade with gold and use it as the main currency. One of the reasons for that is because, well, you can't really fake it. It's really difficult to do. I don't know how you're going to make gold like that, how you're going to make an element. That's one thing. Second of all, it's really touchable. And so there's not just one big party having control of all of it, because, again, it can't be faked. It can't just be influxed like crazy. And everybody will understand exactly what you're trading here, right? It's not going to be a vague concept of what real money really is, because everybody's going to understand exactly. And that's what a lot of people want, because, well, they're kind of done with the Fed pumping in money and really afraid that these prices are going to be inflating like crazy. It's something they've really been thinking about. If we go a little bit further into this Fedcoin talk, a couple of different things came to mind here, which I find really interesting, and we're going to relate it on in a second. How does the central bank put those coins into the economy? Because right at this point, coins are kind of fading from the economy, and you're seeing a lot of these guys over everywhere saying, there's not enough coins. And even here, there's a picture, I believe from Starbucks. Scott Tellin says on Twitter, "This week I saw a sign at Starbucks an hour outside of DC and no idea about any coin shortage. Quote, due to the national coin shortage, we can only accept exact change or electronic payment at this time." And what I think is that an economy can't really function properly if there's not enough coins. But really, one thing they said here is a coin shortage and not a cash shortage. What that means is really people are holding on to their coins, or really the velocity of coins is becoming less, even though there's really quite sufficient cash in the economy. But it's really the specific amount of change, which is, again, really following the story. Because we said, people want these coins because they have some sort of value. Even though some crazy inflation might come, it could be that these dollars or these small cents might become worthless in terms of their real value that we put onto it, but there will still be intrinsic value. With the paper money, that's really not going to be the case, right? If something happens, well, you're kind of done for, because paper is really worth nothing. And I mean, if at stores right now they can't even function properly because they have a coin shortage, that shows you that it's not just a small feat. It's really something that's going on. And here you can see Wendy's as well. A lot of these places are having a coin shortage, which is more and more pointing towards that people are hoarding them. And now let's actually check it, as I just said. It swaps Fedcoin for notes on demand at fixed rates by using a cash-in, cash-out mechanism. For introducing Fedcoin, a central bank ensures that the combined quantity of banknotes and Fedcoin remains unaffected, and only the relative contribution of each one of the total changes. Or as Andolfato describes it, this setup means that Fedcoin functions just like another currency denomination. For example, if the Federal Reserve were to introduce a $200 bill, it would set a 2-to-1 peg between the $100 bill, a 4-to-1 peg with the $50 bill, and a 200-to-1 peg with the $1, etc. Should demand for converting a $100 bill into 200 bills explode, the central bank can effortlessly maintain the peg by having as many 200s printed as necessary to satisfy demand while shredding $100 as they pour it into Fed vaults. Likewise, under the Fed scenario, the Federal Reserve would establish a 1-to-1 peg to the $1 bill or a 100 or 1-to-100 peg to the $100 bill, etc. These exchange rates being unassailable since the Federal Reserve can mint or cancel any quantity of Fedcoin. So this part actually doesn't really make things better, at least for what people would want. So really what this all does is just change the dollar that you see right now to one that's officially called Fedcoin instead of US dollar, but basically it being exactly the same thing, because all they've been describing here all just points to be exactly what we already have, but only being digital. So what they're saying here, and by the way, this report is old but gold, all they're saying is we want to take all these coins and all this type of useless stuff away and make sure it's only digital, but maybe not even digital, but really just issue these bills, maybe just real ones, because that might be coming, but then Fed ones. So they're just switching it over and basically getting rid of this whole coin economy that we've been having. And again, a lot of other countries are having the same problem. Here in the Netherlands, by the way, just so you guys know, a lot of ATMs are fading. And another thing that's happening very often is that you can't withdraw at these machines. Now, what they state that is happening is that you can't withdraw because of CV19. You guys know what I mean with that, right? Certain brand of beer and computer malware. You guys just fiddle those words together and you know what I'm talking about. Now, hey, Bearable Bull, looks like the coin shortage has hit Australia too. Bring on the new financial system. What would you like to do? We're sorry, cash withdrawal is currently unavailable at this machine. And a lot of places are having this. And here a couple of guys are saying, the paper of money is worthless, the coins still have metals that hold some value. I suppose that's why it's called a coin shortage and not a cash shortage. They're removing ATM machines as well. I think they're really trying to get rid of cash all the way at a rapid pace right now. And a lot of us might be wondering exactly why that is. I mean, it's to a certain extent obvious. On another one, I mean, cash really does have its good parts. Because really, some people like the fact that you can have something that's, you can touch. If everything's just going to get online, first of all, you're really excluding old people. And old, I'm meaning just people who are not really involved with the newer generation of being able to pay everywhere. On I guess, a different note, you're modernizing everything. But also, you're really taking away the big certainty that people have. Because if internet were to fade, or really if somebody were to cut off your internet, or if somebody were to, I can't say cut off electricity because that's a very big step, but really if electricity were to just be taken away for a day, I mean, the whole world would collapse anyway. But it's just like you have nothing anymore because everything is going to be online. There's almost no way to hold things anymore just for your own. And that's what a lot of these XRP guys are wondering about. They are saying, this Fedcoin, I mean, it's pegged to the US dollar, but it could very well just be a independent coin. And with that, I mean, not one that's just federally issued, but just an independent coin like XRP that can do the job. And I'm not going to say that's possible or not possible. I'm just saying a lot of the XRP guys are saying exactly that. And I guess backed by a little bit of that stuff is these types of things that are coming from these XRP theorists or insiders or whatever you'd like to call them. I think these guys are what's making people really that adamant for a big revolution with XRP as the main currency. They've been so convinced that that can happen that, I think it's just something we need to talk about a little bit more often because I want to put everything into perspective and tell you guys exactly what I think about it. So just straight off the bat, I'm going to say XRP as a new world currency is an interesting thought, but it's really going to be difficult, right? And why is that so? Well, just as we described here, what are you going to exactly put the pegging to? Like, what's going to make sure that this coin is going to remain stable, or should it not be stable and should it fluctuate like crazy? Because XRP right now is considered a currency, right? I mean, we all see it as a currency, not a security, but it is definitely quite unstable, and I think a lot of people would rather not have their money in something that is this unstable. So following that theory, would then XRP need to be stable at $100, $10, $1, 1 cent? What would it need to be at, or what point would it have to stay at? And how could they do that? How could that all be happening? And also, are they going to go for XRP bills then at one point and just issue real things? Or what's going to happen in that regard? Because people still need things that you can touch, but then just, with a made-up story. Because, again, all these theories, they always consider real bills, but I just never hear somebody talking about coins anymore, right? But still always real bills. But with XRP, how are you going to do that? Just something I'm thinking about as well. And how are you going to do these smaller parts of an XRP? Because XRP can be divided by really, really small parts. Are you going to issue those out as well, or what? Let me know what you think about that in the comment section. By the way, if you're enjoying this video, or if you're also thinking with me here, or you think this is interesting, make sure you show your support by pressing the like button, but also comment down below so I know. All right, I've been looking at this all day. Earlier today, I had like an hour and 20 minutes worth of footage. I had way more articles, but a lot of them I closed already. When the footage, I guess, messed up, I just got angry. I was like, frick my life, I've wasted. But I'm trying again to get a little bit of the story straight. But it might be a little bit more blabber now than I did before, because I have my story straight, and now I'm just trying to rethink what I was talking about. All right, so one of the things here we see is ATM. I guess maybe the Fed, maybe some other big, it could be the Fed. Something I don't really understand. FDIC, send carrier, call teller. I don't know exactly why I posted that. Pictures of people laughing, and there's way more. There's actually way, way, way more. Let's actually keep looking up a little bit. There's another picture of a smiley, marshmallow, possibly Trump. All right, what else do we got? Clara fardigaga. I mean, Clara means kind of done. Fardiga, no idea. Ha, I think means go. I'm just trying to relate it to Dutch. What does that say? It says podzverdzenie, which means confirmation in Russian. Set. All right. What do we have here? We have the Chinese ones, which is Jua Wang, which means to give up all hope. All right. Another drop. Woman being amazed. Guy being amazed. Oh, sorry, guys. I'm not assuming any gender. Somebody, an individual being amazed. Another individual being amazed, just so I don't madden anybody, or nobody's going to get angry with me. Just to be sure. You don't know nowadays, right? Alert. Somebody with red smoke. You guys get the picture here. There's a ton of freaking things he's sharing. A ton of these pictures that I personally think have made no sense at all, but some are putting a lot of value to this. And I'm kind of wondering, is a good part of the community just stupid? Or am I missing something? Is this person an insider? Does he have information that we don't have? Is he a social engineer? Or is he just like a fortune teller or not a fortune teller, like an individual who's like gonna call your ghosts and demons and whatnot because he knows a little bit about just what everybody has, right? I mean, for example, I could have easily posted a picture about an ATM because I mean, we all know it's important. We all know it's an issue and thing that's going around right now. So it would not be that crazy for me to post a picture of that, and it would always be relevant. Same for if it's the Federal Reserve, maybe it's something else. I don't really know. It could be another building at another angle. But for example, could have posted a picture of the Federal Reserve. You could actually attach a lot of things to it. Don't know what this exactly is supposed to mean, but whatever. Here, this picture is just two people talking to each other. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. A smiley. I could always post a smiley. I could also post 3 different types of smileys. Who cares? How are you going to know exactly what I mean with it? Right? Trump. I mean, he's the president. Of course it's going to make some sort of sense somewhere. Right? I mean, more amazed people alert. These all have made no sense whatsoever. They're all useless at all. Facebook. I could have put something about Facebook in there or a thumbs up. I mean, these all are so regular and so broad that it's really hard to say exactly if this means something or if it's just somebody, just doing this all for fun. Because what I think about as well, something you should think about, is that if I were to be a real insider, if I had the real inside information, what would I do? And be honest with me here, guys. What would you do if you had inside information about the craziest things in the world? Would you go ahead and share it with everybody? Or would you make sure your inner circle is just rich as shit? Right? Would you just make sure you become a multi-billionaire or something like that because of some crazy trades you can make? I mean, if I know the economy is going to shitters really, really hard or something is falling, I'm going to short that specific part. And I know I'm not going to be allowed because I have rules, but I'm going to tell my friends. I know they're going to be watching them as well, but it could just be a lucky bet. You're just going to look for a trader who's already busy with that, make him your friend, make an agreement of you sharing everything or something like that. and just make him incredibly rich and give you a lot of it or something like that. You'll figure something out if you want to. Make sure he buys you things, whatever. Think about it. Would you just go for these vague ass tweets? What's the use in all of that? I just do not know. I can't really understand. But if you know about it, just let me know. Because I am interested, but I just do not understand. And here you can see some more of the translations or more of the stuff. Despair in this picture. Ready, set, go in this picture. And confirmation in this picture. There we go. But yeah, what does it all mean? What is there something bigger going on? And a lot of these theories, they actually coincide with ATMs fading, the Fed fading, or the Fed getting back to the golden standard, and XRP being the one world currency. I mean, a lot of these guys that are posting this are of that opinion exactly. Trust me, guys. And again, here's actually something from XRP Chiz. He says, institutions are accumulating digital assets at a rapid rate. If you don't like your life now, is the perfect time to change it. XRP will have a massive utility pump that will make these speculation pumps look like child's play. The internet value is real, don't sleep. All right, to a certain degree, I really agree with this because institutions are accumulating digital assets. Completely true. At a rapid rate, once more, completely true. If you don't like your life right now, it is the perfect time to change it. Always true. That goes for every day, every second even. XRP will have massive utility. True. Pump? Don't know about that. Will have massive utility? Yes. And will make these speculation pumps look like child's play? Yes. Internet value is real? Yes, but no. But yes, let's keep it that as yes, because that's another whole entire completely subject for another week even. I'm questioning whether or not it will be a massive utility pump or if it's going to be a real, just like what is it called? Just a logarithmic increase. Not a pump like this, just like this, but just one that gradually increases exponentially. Exponential function is what I was looking for. Just an exponential function because, well, adoption leads to more adoption, like a snowball effect, right? But it's not like it's going to be like this all of a sudden, and also it just depends on what you call a pump. But yeah, by the way, Bearable Bull is one of the guys that's also really, really a big guy, always looking back at the big golden standard, and I understand why. To just abbreviate or kind of summarize what I just said in short, the golden standard is of the opinion that people are not really happy with all the QE that's going on here, and they want something they can touch for if all hits the shitter, right? Massive inflation could occur, and right now we believe that gold has an inverse correlation to just normal stocks in the rest of the world, and I guess a healthy economy, just an inverse correlation. So that would mean there's a really direct correlation, but it's inverted. So once the economy does well, stocks go up, gold goes down. If the opposite happens, well, you get it. But also there's a direct correlation between inflation and gold price. So if things become a lot more expensive, people have to pay more dollars for a certain type of thing, gold also increases in value. At least that's the theory right there. And that would all mean that gold is going to be doing really, really good, and people would, theoretically speaking, like to hold it right now like crazy. And with all of this of the Fed possibly keeping their coins or people keeping their coins at home, it can also be thought that either they want to get rid of all these coins or they're taking in all these coins to support the theory of a more coin economy eventually. However, I would have thought they would just make a huge amount of coins. However, that might be why the U.S. Coin Task Force is here to help solve it. Maybe something bigger is going on there. Now, another tweet I just saw, which I don't really agree with, comes from XRP Joker. It says, XRP is and will be the most powerful digital asset, I'm assuming he meant powerful, the world has ever seen. The most functional, exchangeable, and liquid tool, hand in hand and partner with the biggest establishments in existence. This is a marathon, not a sprint. Blood on the streets, reset is coming. And especially this last part, reset is coming, and when there's blood on the streets, you should buy, is what people really like in the XRP community. Because a financial reset would partially, I guess, help out with your own wealth, but also get rid of the stupid system that's in play right now and maybe get back to the golden standard and things like that. It all coincides with each other. However, I do not agree with the tweet completely because even though I love XRP, right, and you guys know it all, he says here, XRP is and will be the most powerful digital asset the world has ever seen. That depends. That depends a lot. Let's see what he further says. The most functional. Well, that depends. Once more, if you think it's going to be a one world currency where XRP takes the crown, the cake, and becomes just the one thing that people use, well, yes, it might have multiple functions. At this point, though, what XRP is really meant for, at least what Ripple has said it is meant for, is really just basically one function, and that is the transfer of money, right? Just, you want to change your euro to dollar, XRP is the intermediary currency, and that's really the purpose. There's really not that much other functionality to it. So most functional, it has just one function that it does really well. Most exchangeable, that again depends a little bit, but I guess I can give it that one. And same for liquid, that also depends. It's not a necessity, it's not necessarily needed. But it's something, again, we can kind of get. But the functional part, I don't know. Hand in hand and partner with the biggest establishments in existence, well, maybe in the future. Not yet, but maybe it can be. It can get there. And it's a marathon, not a sprint. I exactly agree with it because that is the truth. However, these first parts, it's really not there quite yet. It might get there, but it's something for the future, which, again, with an exponential function, it might get to, but it's still, a ways away, which you should always consider and think about. Now as well, Ripple's XRP policy framework for digital assets in India incubants can get live in 6 weeks. Adoption is growing around the world. We all know it, and it's just a matter of time before it's gonna get everywhere. I mean, it's the truth, right? It's the truth. We all know it. It's just a part or just a period of time before it's gonna get everywhere. However, I cannot even tell you exactly when it will happen. Will it be months before they get everywhere? Will it be years? I don't know. And even if you're of the opinion of a one world currency, how long would that take? Would that be a couple of months? Would that be years? And would the Fed have to support it, or would they be against it? Would it be a war, or would they all work together? I'm just thinking about it all because it's really things that can change your whole life completely. But also, it's something we really don't have the answers of. And it's all just based upon some short, small hints we can find. However, all of it is so strange. And I think the reason for that is because they don't want to tell you, right? They don't want to tell you about all of this. Because why would they, right? It's only in a negative sense for them. So you're going to have to find it all out for yourself if you want to get these details. And most likely it's going to be some heavy thinking that you got to do, but whatever, guys. I think that was it for today's video. Again, it's a lot less perfect than I would like it to be. In my first recording, I talked a lot less about this whole document and more so about XRP and the connection to it. But a lot of it I forgot. Again, I tried my best to just get up with everything I talked about before. As well as about scams and whatnot. I don't really know. I'm just going to check it all into again, and I'll report on it later today in another episode. But that was it for today, guys. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you press the like button and subscribe, and I would definitely see you guys again in another crypto video. Take care, and have a very, very nice day.